As more and more Nigerians came to see the strength of the government's resolve, the way and manner in which the APC as a political party has adjusted its expectations and modus operandi to meet the challenge of the moment and surmount the nation's present difficulties while exploiting its inherent opportunities, so a critical mass of Nigerians are embracing the banner of the APC, eager to play their expected roles at national and sub-national levels towards the regeneration of their respective communities, states, and nation. One of the most prominent Nigerians who took his momentous step in early 2022 after much consultation with relevant stakeholders is the former governor of Ogun State, Otumba Justice Olubenga Daniel.
We are here to see Mr. President and to present to him our new members of the party, in the persons of Otumba Benga Daniel, former two-term governor of Ogun State.
Why APC? I do not think that there are too many options that we have in our country. We have two major parties. One thing that is for sure is that the entire world is going through challenges. There are global challenges, economic challenges, health challenges, and when you are in a situation like this, as I've usually opined, we should do less of partisan contestation. All of us must come together.
An accomplished engineer, business mogul, a consummate politician, and a patriot whose fidelity to Nigerian project remains unshaken till date. Otumba Benga Daniel, or OGD as he's fondly called by esteeming admirers, has in the course of his eventful life and professional career achieved an enviable record of success and service and amassed such influence and unflinching trust that cannot by any measure be underestimated or attributed to mere coincidence. Neither has any of his public actions, especially in political sphere, been anything other than well thought out and informed by the best of intentions, namely the continuous well-being of his people. As a man conscious of the trust that so many repose on him, he does nothing on impulse, and that includes his decision to join the ruling party.
A friend of many years who has remained consistently a friend, but somehow he just kept being able to draw money from somewhere. Nobody quite knows where. I think it was at that point that I made up my mind that this gentleman, whatever he chooses to do, he will be extremely successful. And so I'm not surprised at all about all the success that he has made.
OGD, as I normally call him, my views about you over the years are a very hard-working person, a very transparent person, a very dedicated, patriotic Nigerian.
From our days at the Governor's Forum, and he's a very broad-minded Nigerian. He's a man with a very large heart, very tribalized. He's a man who built bridges.
Benga Daniel, whom we know, has done well for this nation and has done well for this country.
Is a man that is vast and well received in all parts of the country. You know, he's cosmopolitan, you know, and even his business days, he has shown that he's a detribalized Nigerian. So even his politics as well, he has brought color to politics as well.
Daniel, who served as the governor of Ogun State in southwest Nigeria between 2003 and 2011, was born on the 6th of April 1956 in Ibadan, in what is now Oyo State of Nigeria. He attended the Baptist Boys High School at Belkuta from 1969 to 1973, followed by studies at the Polytechnic, Ibadan, and the School of Engineering of the University of Lagos. On graduation, he became a Fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers (NCE). Having taught briefly as a lecturer in the School of Engineering of Lagos State Polytechnic, he eventually landed a job in 1983 with the German engineering firm Schroeder Limited in Lagos, eventually rising to Deputy Managing Director, the first African to hold that position in the long history of the company. In 1990, he left the services of the company to found Cresta Laurel Limited, an engineering firm specializing in elevators, overhead traveling cranes and hoists. Throughout his professional career, whether as an employee or employer of labor, Daniel has always come across as an epitome of trustworthiness, reliability, and efficiency. Daniel's campaign for the governorship of Nigeria's gateway state, which was described by the political analysts at the time as electrifying, was remarkable, not least due to the fact as a player in the private sector and therefore a veritable outsider, he was able to unseat a sitting governor, no small feat in a political environment like Nigeria's, where incumbency tends to invest the holder of office with an aura of electoral invincibility. As part of his revolutionary 2003 campaign, Daniel toured all 236 wards of Ogun State, engaging with the vast cross-section of stakeholders in a bid not just to sell his visionary and practical political agenda, but also listen to their concerns and build a governance template that puts the people and their concerns at the heart of policy formulation and implementation. By the largest margin of victory in the state's electoral history, Daniel was elected as the third civilian chief executive of the state since its creation in 1976, a massive vote of confidence and investment of trust by the electorate. As governor, Daniel repaid that trust with interest. During his eventful tenure, he assiduously promoted entrepreneurship amongst young people through various youth development programs, as well as empowering them in various other ways. Major infrastructural projects spread across the state were the hallmark of his stewardship, notably modern public structures, roads, recreational centers and stadiums, institutions of higher learning, among others. In recognition of the accomplishment of his first 4 years, OGD's re-election to a second term in office in 2007 was a foregone conclusion. Rather than seeing this expression of trust by the people as a cue to rest on his laurels, Governor Daniel saw it as a challenge to do even more to correct whatever mistakes were made during the first term and to lay a legacy of people-oriented social-economic development that would stand the test of time. And indeed, the achievements of the second term were an even greater actualization of the dream of a dynamic, focused and visionary leader who saw his mission in politics and government as one of service in the people's collective quest for social-economic transformation.
He is a trusted and trusted man, so we believe he is the one that is capable to do it at this crucial period. Because we know with ingenuity and the kind of person he is, he will draw quite a lot of infrastructure to this very area.
A man of high intelligence, and he's a straightforward man. His yes is always yes, and his no is always, and his religious indeed. When you have a problem and you're able to get to Otubagbin Gadani, he will surely find a way for it, a reliable solution, a reliable, resourceful solution. to your problem. So by the time we have such people in our society, when he's trying to go up and work for us, we have to make the ladder. We made the ladder for him to climb up with the expectation that in returns, he will give us, he will bring something back, something tangible.
I've seen a couple, so I've seen all the projects that he has done as the previous governor of Ogun State. And I think so if there's a call for him to go for the Senate, I don't think there's any other option for him than to oblige the request of the people. Because if he had done so well in Ogun State, I feel that going to the Senate, he would also do better than what he has done in Ogun State. So for me, personally, I think it's a clarion call for him. If people feel that he should go to the Senate to make them proud and to do the nation be a better place, and I think he should just go ahead and honor that call.
In Ogun East, we have never had it so good. One, in Ijebu-Ode, OGD gave us an international stadium. In Shagamu, OGD gave us international stadium. In Ijebu area as well. Across Ogun State, it was the last governor that gave us massive employment in Ogun State. The idea of Agokako airports. It was his, brain work. OGD is a man of vision and mission. Okay? I can go on and on and on and on. And that's why we're making a passionate appeal to him. In fact, we won't mind to go spiritual by fasting and praying. So that God will answer our prayer. OGD will answer our prayer. Come 2023. As far as Ogun East is concerned, we will not vote for anybody to lead us in this senatorial district, if not OGD.
At the expiration of his second and final term, OGD returned to the management of Crystal Laurel Limited, which by then had already cemented its well-deserved reputation as the leading dealer of vertical transportation system in the West African sub-region, not just due to the hard work, discipline, thoroughness, and trustworthiness as he had demonstrated as governor, but also his ability to delegate considerable responsibilities to an equally trustworthy and highly competent core of subordinates who ran with his vision in this nearly decade-long distance. Daniel's departure from office, however, was by no means a departure from political engagement. Since 2011, he has continued funding youth and women development initiatives within Ogun State. He founded the Political Academy, POLA, Political Leadership Institute, a think tank which has trained dozens of political stakeholders, women groups, as well as the youth on key strategies for involvement in public life and engagement with the political process. The result over the years is a resurgence not only of interest in politics and public affairs among youths in Ogun State, but also a realization of how untenable Daniel's continued sojourn outside the corridors of power is as far as advancing the welfare of his people is concerned.
He's going unopposed, I can assure you. Yeah, because even when Daniel is not the present governor, he's still playing that active role, solving people's problems. If the bad boys are trying to do something that is not all right, he will advise them. You have to behave. You never can tell what you will become tomorrow. So we've missed him in the Nigeria politics, and I'm happy that he's going. He will go without any problem. He will win the Senate just like that. In fact, Nigeria needs him. Somebody predicted some few years ago that there will be a time that Nigerians will call him to come and lead the nation. Not just as a senator, not just as a governor, but as a president. And by the grace of God, that will come to reality.
What we were expecting, even before now, we felt that as soon as he left as the governor of Ogun State, he should have been a senator. But I don't know what happened. Maybe he was trying to take his time to rest. Otherwise, he'll have been a senator in the last 2 sessions or so of the National Assembly.
Of course, like any other holder of public office, Daniel has had his fair share of critics, detractors, and naysayers. But it is also a testimony to his consummate political skills and the trust that so many have reposed in him that his stature in Nigerian politics has not waned with the passing of time, nor has it been adversely affected by the challenging political currents.
People around who at one time had praised him, that is a wonderful performer, who are now singing another song today. That shows the type of person people are. But mind you, I've told you, you now say it's our or son. If it's our or son, then it's inheriting what our experience. Why you say why guy says so? The type of attack they are having is a repeating level issue.
His vast connections cut across Nigeria, often fractious ethnic and religious divides and partisan affiliations. For that reason, he is the subject of tremendous goodwill, not just from the high and mighty in the land, but also among the middle and lower classes in society, thanks to his generosity both in material terms and his magnanimity to friend and foe alike, and his considerable sense of loyalty and respect for all. He has indeed been tried and tested. He has passed the test with flying colors and earned for himself that most precious of currencies, trust. Indeed, the often used phrase, tested and trusted, fits the character and pedigree of Otumba Gbenga Daniel like a glove.
If it's about service to the people, you must know the people you want to serve. You must understand their problem. You must relate with them, and that usually is what I've tried to do at all times. You cannot begin to fix a problem that you have not identified, and there is no better way of doing that other than to go to the people.
That is why many keen observers of Nigerian politics, especially in these days of tribulation, have welcomed Daniel's identification with the ruling party, the ABC, as they see it as an act by a statesman responding to the call of his times. On the level of his immediate constituency, Ogun East Senatorial District, where stakeholders representing a various of interest have long bemoaned the lack of quality representation, especially at the federal level, the call for this modern-day Daniel to come to judgment by offering himself for duty at the Nigerian Senate come 2023 have become too loud and insistent to ignore. Not one to disregard such patriotic calls from one's own kindred or pretend not to hear them, or be insensitive to the present social-economic plight of his own constituents. Otumba Gbenga Daniel has decided to obey the call of his people and throw his hat into the ring by seeking the ticket of the All Progressives Congress for the office of Distinguished Senator representing Ogun East Senatorial District of Ogun State.
Any governors will do roads. Any governor will have boreholes in any state. That's the conventional thing, isn't it? Those are the three things: light, water, roads. But if you examine very critically Gbenga Daniel's economic development policy, I don't want to leave them. That was actually endeared some of us to do. And it's a very focused one.
OGD is a brand name in Ogun State. So for Senate, I would even say that they're asking for too little. If OGD wants to contest for presidency, if he wants to stand as a presidential candidate, why not? He has paid his dues in politics, and I think he deserves it. And he has all the capabilities. He's been, like people say,
He's been tested and is trusted.
All know OGD is a master at this game. He knows the terrain, he knows the people love him, we all love him. He knows how the game is played. He's played international politics, he's played national politics, he knows how to get things done. The charisma is there. So what we want, what do you want in a leader? What do everybody want in a leader? A listening ear, compassionate, morally qualified, endowed with everything, with the knowledge, astute politician. Is all in all. He has everything. He captures everything. The essence, OGD.
If we take a good assessment of our policy, you can see it from 1999 to date. All the governors that have come to be, I can still say, and we all know, nobody has surpassed, nobody has even moved close to the kind of grassroots mobilization, kind of development, kind of people-inclusive type of governance that OGD has put on ground. For me, if it's possible to just go and hand over tickets to OGD right inside his house, I don't see whoever is coming out as far as Ogun East political contention is all about. Except OGD says he's not interested. For anybody, it will just be a waste of time. We're having the best material that we can have as far as race is concerned.
There are two things in governance: integrity and competency. The one that is the most important out of those two things is competency. But Otumba has the truth, and above all, he has serious planning, and that is the essence of competency. You see, if you fail to plan, you will plan to fail. So because he has all those things with me, that is why I like the man any day, anytime. Because he's competent, he has integrity, and he's also planning.
I'm ọmọlúwàbí èèyàn 100%. Láfún agbára Ọlọ́run ibikíbi tó bá fẹ́ lọ́nu méjèèjì àwa dúró tí ó dẹ̀ máa débẹ̀.
It is often said that while a statesman thinks about the next generation, the politician only thinks about the next election. In view of his activities in and out of power, one can confidently state that Otumba Gbenga Daniel firmly belongs in the first category of leaders. Still, even the most visionary of statesmen knows that standing on the sidelines is not always the best option, certainly not at this juncture in our national journey, when all hands must be on deck and all patriots must stand up to be counted. After all, as the former American President Theodore Roosevelt has memorably said, it is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit goes to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by the dust and sweat and blood, who errs, who comes short again and again because there is no effort without error and shortcomings, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who shows great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of great achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be among those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. For a doer of deeds such as Otumba Gbenga Daniel, the time of criticism, no matter how constructive or well-intentioned, is over. Now is the time to step once again into the arena of public action and result-oriented engagement with a view towards bringing the benefits of modern social-economic transformation to the people of Ogun East Senatorial District, just as he did when he was governor of Ogun State. Equally important, his long overdue venture into the larger Nigerian political arena as represented by his expected membership of the next Assembly of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, means that the quality of that body's discussions and legislative interventions in the country's polity will be greatly enhanced. The Senate will surely benefit greatly from the experience and insight of a man who has straddled the worlds of politics, policymaking, and business to great effect. In particular, Daniel's concern for the health of the national economy, characterized as it is by a pattern of consumption among Nigerians that shows an unhealthy appetite for things we don't actually produce in our country, will take its proper place in the front burner of national discourse.
Part of what therefore needs to be done is to ensure that the National Assembly is populated with not just newcomers, but people who have experience, people who understand, who knows where the shoe pinches, so that they can complement the functions of the executive, because it is in so doing that the so-called dividends of the democracy can go right down the lane. That's a whole lot. I know quite a number of projects that we have started, which we still have to require the support of the legislature, also the executive, but also is able to carry some of these strings through. So that's what it's all about.
To whom much is given, as the saying goes, much is expected. Expectations are already high as 2023 approaches. For a man such as OGD, who has been tried, tested, and trusted, a born leader who has done so much with what he has been entrusted with so far, these expectations will definitely not be misplaced.
OGD, Ọ̀túnba Gbénga Daniel, tested and trusted.